Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. A viewer of mine had just recently emailed me about earlier this week, and she had mentioned to me that to beware of a possible narc. And when I read through the whole entire email, I was really floored. And she gave me some article links to prove her point. And this email comes from a lady, one of my viewers and subscribers. Like I said, I won't mention her name, but I can say that she's from England. So, lady from England, thank you so much for bringing that up to my attention. Um, the gentleman that I'm mentioning is Scott Bensack, and I know I've mentioned his name quite a bit in the past couple of recent videos that I've done. And when she gave me the article links and I read through it, I was really floored. So it just goes to show you that narcs can really mimic a good person behavior, you know. And this guy had really mastered it so well it had me fooled. So I was completely floored, completely fooled, and I'm not going to sit there and beat myself up about it. You know, people like myself can get fooled as many of you viewers out there can be easily fooled. But you know, the good thing, there's a lot of positives to this. At least it's discovered early. I no longer subscribe to this guy's channel now that I know that he is a fraud and also a narc, and a narc in many ways. Just like I said, mimicking a good person's behavior, and you know, uh, this lady that had wrote me an email. We've emailed back and forth about total of about 3 times. And I really want to share this email, that the last email that she wrote to me, because I really, the first time she wrote me, obviously, second time I responded back with just thanking her for bringing it to my attention. So now I'm going to bring it to all of you, my viewers' attention out there, to not follow Scott Bensack. He's a fake and he's a fraud, and above all else, he's a narc. And for a while, I kind of wondered, why did he only have 400 some odd plus subscribers? And then I kept looking every week for a video, and that wasn't adding up. So, made me wonder, but isn't it wonderful that God works in mysterious ways to send somebody to me to look out for me and give me a message to really watch out and protect me in the work that I'm trying to do, and that is to help all of you viewers out there overcome and survive narcissistic abuse. But anyway, um, she this is the third email that was written, and of course it was by her, and she just says it's good to hear back from you, and you're absolutely welcome. I'm glad to have helped. Um, it says, I agree with you not to beat yourself up, because this guy is very convincing, and he sure in hell had me fooled. And let me just say something real quick, though. If you get fooled by a narc, but if you catch it early, that's always a positive thing. It's better to catch a narc in his or her own steps early than too late. So a lot of positive came out of this situation. And I would have to say, with this lady here in England, it brought it up to my attention. She really taught me something, and it's something that I completely forgot. And I usually research things, but I got so caught up, so mesmerized in Scott's BS. Now that I see clearly now, um, you know, she just taught me to really, just by her actions and out of clear, warm, genuine concern for me, to bring it to my attention and say, hey, she researched this guy, and believe me, your research is definitely well appreciated. But she taught me a lesson. There's a lesson in this experience, and that is do your research before you even mention the person. So that's a lesson learned. So I thank you, honey, for that lesson. Thank you so much. And she says, I have to agree. Okay, I think that he could have made it as an actor or something. I was taken into for a while because the way he talks. It seems like he's always searching his soul when sometimes he's just reading his notes. It's shocking how he got those mannerisms down to a T, and it seems so genuine. If it wasn't for the inconsistencies, wouldn't have suspected much and looked further. Yeah, that he was that convincing. I think the likelihood of you coming across frauds like him is low, but it's best to be cautious, and that's another lesson learned. Um, I suppose seeing how open these people are, how they respond to others, and how to conflict is a good sign to see how legit they are. They'll always expose themselves. Somehow, as it happens, this guy deliberately cut that out of the equation, so um, it was impossible to know. Um, and she appreciates, the work that I'm doing, and you're very welcome, and I will continue to do my work, and that is to help others on my channel here, and I continue to do so. And we can all learn from each other's experiences, even up to this current time. Um, and then she says, well, by the way, I know that you have been trying to get a job in the medical field. Was it a medical biller? Yes. Um, and recently you seem rather demoralized. I hope that it won't get you down and keep plugging away as you will get there. I was wondering what you meant by the employers not being able to afford you. Um, is it that you might have to expect to take a cut in your pay grade to gain employment? I'm sorry for the questions, but I don't really know how things work in America. I'm from England. So, to answer those questions, you know, um, let's just say this. From childhood, as far back as I can remember, about third grade and on, I was always taught, in grade school, I was always taught the American, things about the American dream. Always was taught if you work hard, you'll get there. I was always, taught that, hard work moves you up in a company. I was always told from third grade up that a college education, you'll always get a good job, you'll always have options, and I was taught all that. And now that I'm older and I'm 44 years old, when I take a look around, I went to college not once but twice, you know, because the first time I graduated with a 2.9 GPA, and the degree was associate degree in marketing. Obviously, a waste of time. I didn't get any jobs, despite, and even had that experience coming out of college. Oh, you got to have 2, 3, 5 years experience coming out, And I didn't take any type of elective. I'm take it back. When I was at, Columbus State to get my associate degree in marketing, and I didn't notice till after I took the electives, but I was supposed to take 2 electives, and I took the 2 electives. I think I took retail, and I think it was advertising, were my 2 electives. And right after I took those electives, then I found out about internship. And I have been kicking myself in the butt for years, thinking, well, maybe that's why I couldn't get a job in the field of marketing, because I didn't take an externship, But then, heck, it's funny how you find out things after the fact. And so when I graduated, I thought, okay, I beat myself up for not doing an internship. And it would have been nice if I would have found it beforehand. And then I thought, well, my grades weren't really the par of what employers are going to look at me. So this time around, when I went to school, always had a heart and love for the medical field. And took medical billing and coding. It was a 1-year program. And it's a technical school, and it was a very accelerated program, which really means you're basically doing 2, 3, maybe 4 years worth of schoolwork, of college work, all crammed into one. So just imagine the workload, and believe me, I was up day and night, studying, working my tail off, maintain a 4.0 till about near the end of my last term. And this time around, they didn't call it internship, they call it externship. So to me, I think those mean the same, where basically you just go to an employer, that's in the field, like in a doctor's office or a hospital or someplace, and you get some experience underneath your belt. So I'm thinking to myself, well, this time I'm going to step in the right direction. Like I said, I got my grades is really good. I'm going to graduate with honors. I passed my billing test with honors. Now there shouldn't be any reason why I can't get a job in medical billing and coding. Got my certification in billing. Took the coding test, literally kicked my ass. I knew the concepts, knew the guidelines, but it was the speed that kicked my ass. And I had to get past at least with a 70, and I believe, I got like a 50 something. I didn't complete the whole test. I had to really skip it. Just did the ones I knew to do. And I can retake that test again. And so I'm going to wait till probably maybe August, maybe. Because now I'm trying to find a job. I'm trying to get some things together, try to get my life back together after being out of work because, like I said in the last video, I got injured from my last employer. And so I'm trying to get myself together here. I'm still finding the workers' comp system still. But anyway, to answer the lady's question about, it does seem very demoralizing. I mean, I felt pretty much demoralized because I spent 10 years in banking thinking that I can utilize my marketing degree and couldn't. Worked my tail off, couldn't get anywhere. And, I've never got a real good paying job ever in my life. I think the most I ever made was $11.90 an hour to start with when I had my last banking job, and that was a third shift position. And eventually, third shift got phased out, and I had to go to first shift after I think 2.5 years working third. And so, I think it got knocked down to about 10 something an hour. The high $10 rate. I think it's like maybe 10.80 or 10 something because you got that shift differential. But I never ever had a high paying job, and I consider high paying job like 17, 20, 25, 30 an hour. I consider that high paying. Or if you want to talk salary range, would be when today's economy $50,000 and up. Would be considered great pay. And I know I've always known, always believed that you can't always start where you like to and start with a salary that you like to. You got to work your way up. But I was thinking this time, hey, I shouldn't have any problems getting a job. But anyway, it does get me down. And you know what? I don't care how strong you are or anybody, even myself. I'm human. There's going to come times when I'm going to get down on myself. But thank goodness, I have that nurturing mother inside of me. And I'm still working on it, but really progressed a lot and trying to become that mother to myself. And I try to nurture myself and say, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You're still a winner. And basically, none of these employers can't really see the good qualities that I see. And this is the mother and me talking. If these employers can't see the good qualities in you and can't pay you what you're worth, then first of all, they don't deserve you, and two, they can't afford you. And I don't mean it as a grand doss, but what am I supposed to think? I'm middle age. You know, I feel like I'm in a midlife crisis in some ways because it's like, what do I have to show for? And it's like, you know, then I'm starting to really get a little bit down on myself. I say, well, what the hell did I go to college for? And now I'm starting to believe that college is worthless. And now it's like, I've seen a lot of, crazy videos about people burning their degrees, which I'm not going to go to that extent, by any chance. Am I giving up? No. But I feel like, hey, I'm human. Just like any of you out there, human, you're going to have a downtime, and I do feel down, but I still have that inner strength that keeps me up, and the nurturing mother that keeps me going, and of course I have my fiance that tries to keep me going. So it's a fight. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be a fight to try to really stay strong, and I'm not going to allow what my narcissistic mother, especially that stupid loudmouth sister of mine that wrote me that nasty letter, that gave me that stupid Quasimodo diploma. I want to say this. That bitch does not define my future. I'm still going to stay determined. I want to find ways to get out there in the market, the job market. I want to find ways. And, I just feel like it's a midlife crisis, and that's why what I meant by, employers that can't afford me. A lot of these employers just want to sit here and just get your skills and everything for a song and a dance. At what, $10 an hour? Is that what life is all about? Is making $10 an hour on my life? Despite that I have 2 degrees, and having these degrees, I'm saying, I always believe should make me marketable because I have those degrees, not because it makes me better than anybody. No, I've always believed you got the more college education you have, the more options you have, and the better chance you find a good paying job, and that's just not true anymore. And I'm facing that reality, that it's not true anymore. So, if I have to get a $10 an hour job, and I'm still looking, I'm still hunting, even I'm going to go out extreme of even just trying to get something that's out of my field, even though I don't want to do that. But what choice do I have? Unfortunately, though, everything's been falling on top of my fiance, and his money just barely makes the rent and barely makes the utilities and the food, and it's very, very frustrating. I had visions, of once I graduate, that I could have a good paying job, especially in the medical field. And before I even went to school for this field of medical billing coding, I did my own research and found out that it was a growing profession. And so, like I said, I'm not going to give up. It's all about survival. So you out there in England, it's like, hey, there's no such thing as the American dream here. If you ever heard about the American dream, I can tell you right now, there's no such thing. I'm coming to realize that. But anyway, see here. Trying to make sure I address all your questions. But like I said, I got that nurturing mother in me. And I'll be picking myself up here, and things are, I just gotta keep praying, and doing these videos on my channel helps me really get my mind off my own stuff and try to focus my attention on people like yourself that's gone through what I've gone through. That's going through what I've gone through. Being a daughter of a narcissistic mother, and being a survivor of it, overcame it, found closure, and the healing. The healing is pretty much there. Just a few scars, but pretty much healed. But still, like I said, still some scars there, and and I know that comes part of the territory of being a victim of a narcissistic mother, and or parents. You're always gonna have those scars, and so, like I said, I'm human, and I have to give myself permission to feel down, to feel what I feel, and I'm just still want to be real with myself, but at the same time, don't allow it to destroy me, don't allow it to weaken me. But I just have to just reach down that much more further and find some way somehow to market myself. And believe me, I'm going to pray about it. Trust me, I'm going to pray about it. So let me see here. And I know you mentioned something like, is it that you might have to expect to take a cut in pay grade to gain employment? And don't feel bad asking me questions. I mean, not just you lady out there in England, but anybody. After any video, I welcome questions, comments, and I would be able to gauge it, okay, if, I have nothing to hide. Got a question? You ask, you don't know unless you ask, and, I appreciate the concern, and but I'm gonna make it. It's just gonna make me fight that much more harder, and I'm trying right now. Trying to evaluate myself and say, okay, let's go beyond the degrees that I have and look at the skills that I really have. I mean, I have computer skills. I know Excel. It's a computer, what they call a computer application, spreadsheet. I took a crash course in it, did very well. I know PowerPoint's nothing but presentations. You do them on the computer with these little slideshow things. That's easy. Did a lot of that in college. And of course, you got the Microsoft Word. I know how to cut and paste and and copy things, and so and I can learn any type of computer app, even besides Microsoft. One of my greatest strengths is learning very, very fast, and I pick things relatively quickly. And I'm more of a visual learner. If you're sitting here trying to tell me something without showing me anything, I most likely won't be able to get it. Because everybody's brain's wired differently. Some people are visual learners, some of them are audio listeners, audio. Some of them are both. A lot of times it just depends upon what it is, but I'm more of a visual learner. I do know that about myself. So, anyway, back to the email about Scott. And I want us to say that each one of you out there, by all means, don't even subscribe to this guy's channel, Scott Bensat. Don't. He's just a load of crap. So, lesson learned from me, and then I could pass that same experience to the rest of you out there, my viewers, And so, right now, I've learned quite a bit. Now I know better now to research and, search things out before I even mention somebody on this channel. The next video I'm going to do is going to be, and I haven't gotten any more emails ever since this one here recently. I haven't gotten any more videos, so the next video I'm going to do is going to be about maintaining no contact with your narcissist. That's going to be my next video. And let me share this one more thing before I go. Lately, I have been getting some very weird text messages. and I ask who they are, and then they don't say anything. And then I even get some weird phone calls. Obviously, don't leave no message. So it comes to show me the biggest thing I do suspect, because every one of us has this gut instinct that, you know, um, you know, the gut instinct of, I strongly believe that it most likely could be my narcissistic sisters plotting, trying to pull some crap, try to scare me, try to get me to shut up about exposing them, and I'm not going to. So you sisters of mine out there, biological pieces of shit, the more you try to really discourage or try to scare me, it's just going to empower me that much more. And I'm going to continue to make examples of you. You and my narc mother. And so, anyway, to the next episode. This is Mary Allen signing off. And to you lady out there in England, again, words can't really describe of how grateful I am to have a good viewer, a subscriber like yourself that really, really brought it to my attention. And all of you other viewers out there and my subscribers, I love you all as always. And, I appreciate all of you. So, this is Mary Allen signing off. And I wish you peace as always. I love you all. Goodbye. Take care for now.